You're listening to a mini episode of Wake Up with Patti Catter, and I am your host, Patti Catter. So I thought that this week I would go ahead and talk about juggling your work life versus your personal life, because honestly, I've had a hard time with that. I'm pretty much a workaholic sometimes, and I thought I needed to step back and just kind of reassess things and reevaluate my life, especially after my eye issue. If you missed the episode about my eye issue, you might want to go back and listen to that. My retina had detached, and I told my story of how that happened, or the hypothesis of why that happened, and some of the things that I was going through. But fast forward to today, and I want to talk about prioritizing your personal life just as much as your work life, because that's really difficult. At least it has been for me. So anyways, you're not alone if you're listening to this and you're thinking, geez, I think I'm kind of a workaholic, or I really work a lot more than I play. Achieving a health work-life balance, like a healthy work-life balance, is really important. So let's discuss why it's so important. When your work and your personal life are not balanced, it's going to lead to stress, burnout, and even health problems. I definitely experienced all of that. And then also being a caregiver on top of it, it was like overload, right? So anyways, when you're happy and you're fulfilled in your personal life, then you can bring that positivity to your work. And I think that's really important as well, because who wants to go to work when you're so stressed and you're getting on the, you're on the verge of burnout and you're working like 50, 60 hours a week and you have all this other stuff going on. Achieving balance increases your productivity, your motivation, your focus. So let's get started on going through some of these tips that I came up with. Number 1, prioritize your self-care. You hear me talking about self-care a lot, and this is why. It's important to put yourself first and to make activities in your life a priority that bring you joy and relaxation. Priority of self-care boosts your mood, it reduces stress, it increases your happiness. Some of your activities you could consider are things like reading, exercise, taking a bubble bath, hopping in the hot tub, watch your favorite show. I've been doing a lot of that the last 7 weeks that I've had off, and it's been amazing. So next, plan your schedule. I plan my day every single day. I have a schedule. I stick to it as much as possible. I have certain days that for instance, I'll have Ken go to his doctor's appointments and I go with him and I schedule those on a certain day. Work, I schedule different things during the day to prioritize what's the most important at work, what I need to get done. And then I also, number 1, I prioritize myself. So here's a little tip I didn't plan on mentioning, but I'm going to mention it anyways. So I had a mentor one time tell me to put my self-care in the morning first thing, or to put myself first. So if I want to work out, do it in the morning. If I want to read a book, do it in the morning. Do it before I start working. Put myself first. And so I put myself on the schedule first. And I'm not doing it to be selfish, but I'm doing it because I realize I have to have that self-care time. So plan your schedule was number 2. Number 3 is set boundaries. Learn to say no, establish your boundaries. That's going to help you tremendously. When somebody comes to you and says, hey, would you want to volunteer for this or that? It might sound like a great idea last minute to say, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then you realize later, like, why did I say that? Why did I say that I would do that? Like, it's a great cause and everything, but I forgot to put myself first. I forgot the other things that were on my schedule, and now I'm overwhelming myself. So set boundaries and know that it's okay to say no. If you don't do something someone asks you to, somebody else will do it, or it wasn't that important to them anyways, right? So the next thing, number 4, is practice mindfulness. This is so important. I've done some really crazy, trippy meditations that I put out a couple years ago. You can go back and listen to those. I think that, in my opinion, they're a little bit different than most meditations or mindfulness practices. And I did that on purpose. I did it because for me, some of the mindfulness practices out there, they were a little bit boring for me. So everybody just needs something different. But the mindfulness that I've been doing lately is I've been listening to some Joe Dispenza meditations, and they're really good. And honestly, they're a little trippy sometimes. So I like that because it just really makes my brain think. But whatever mindfulness you want, like meditation's great, but you can do things like go for walks. I try to do that as well. Anything that's going to reduce your stress and anxiety. I used to go get massages all the time. And then, side note, my massage therapist changed positions. And so I haven't had one in a while. And I'm like, man, I wish I could get back to that. But I haven't been able to find anybody who I would want to go to. So instead of like dwelling like, oh man, I wish I could do this. Or like maybe you're thinking, the reason I'm bringing this up is maybe you're thinking like, gosh, I used to be able to go out and, do whatever. Like maybe you have a health problem and you can't go out running anymore, but find something that you like to do and that you can do. And it still releases that extra energy that is just kind of negative, and just lets you unwind and relax. So maybe you're thinking, gosh, I really wish I could still, and I know this is going to resonate with some of you, I wish I could still be in the military and be doing that PT. Don't think about the things that used to make you happy when you're practicing mindfulness. Think about the things that are here and now and today and what can make you happy today, and just really try to focus on that. Things like I said, meditation. Maybe you're into yoga. Maybe you want to take some moments to just breathe and be present in the moment. Maybe you want to take your cell phone out into nature and take some pictures of flowers or whatever on your cell phone. If that brings you peace and that helps your mind, do it. The next thing is unplug. Oh my gosh, I am so guilty of this. I will check my phone before bed. I check my phone first thing in the morning when I wake up. That's not a good habit, and I'm working on unplugging because really that's not the first thing we should do in the morning. We shouldn't just all of a sudden think, oh, I have to check my phone. I have to see what everybody's doing on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. Instead, maybe take that time in the morning, put it in your schedule to go ahead and plan that mindfulness or plan those, extra special self-care moments. The next thing is make time for your hobbies. Like some of you are probably thinking, I don't even know what my hobbies are anymore, because honestly, 7 weeks ago before my retina tear, I didn't even know what my hobbies were anymore. I really had a lot of time to sit and to think because I really couldn't do anything. I was kind of grounded for 7 weeks. So making time for hobbies could be everything from painting to hiking to dancing. A couple episodes ago, I did have a show on how to find hobbies. And so you might want to go back and listen to that. But really just think about some things you might want to try or do. So what I did is in my phone, I put a note list and I put down things like paintings. I want to try a ceramics class. I want to do some more epoxy art. I want to go to this tree climbing place down the road. I want to go roller skating, even though that might be painful. We'll have to see how that goes. But you get the idea. Think of some things that you think would be fun to try. And even if you think it might be a little intimidating, I really dare you to go try those things and see what happens, because you're never going to know unless you try, and you don't want to live with regrets. So for me, I thought, geez, I used to roller skate. It was a long time ago. I think that was really fun in my life. Maybe I'll try it again. So I'm going to try it again. Lastly, I just have 7 tips today. So this is the 7th tip. And this one is just ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Reach out to a friend, reach out to a family member, reach out to support. If you have to, hire a professional that tasks things like cleaning or whatever it is that you need help with, so that you can continue to prioritize your work and personal life balance. So when I had the issue with my eyes, I really thought it really sucks, just basically. It sucked. And I did not want to ask for help. So for the first couple of weeks, I was doing great and everything did get done around our house, but it was because I had to reach out for help. So Wounded Warrior Project, I do have to give them a shout out. They really stepped up. As soon as they found out what I was going through, they sent 3 weeks of prepared meals to our house, which was huge because I literally could not get up to cook. So the meals were provided. Everything was great. I used a lot of tasks on my phone, and maybe I'll make an episode about what you can do to make your life more simple, that I learned during that 7 weeks I was off. Just some really great tips. So be on the lookout for that episode. I just had that idea. But anyways, don't be afraid to ask for help. Your friends, your family, they really would probably like to help you in some capacity. So in conclusion, achieving a work-life balance is really key to living a fulfilling and happy life. Prioritizing your self-care, planning your schedule, setting boundaries, practicing mindfulness, unplugging, making time for hobbies. Make sure you ask for help from others, and remember to be kind to yourself always and enjoy life to the fullest.